Hello, welcome to Astronomical. My name is Andy and today we're creating a really simple Zap, keeping it light, and we're going to be using a Zapier native integration called Weather by Zapier, and we're going to get a little notification if it's going to rain today. So this is something I've been wanting to set up for ages because I moved to Glasgow where it always rains and or most of the time it rains, and I need to notify myself when I need to bring an umbrella, which it appears I'm having to do far more often than I would like. So once we've started that Zap, we can then move on to get the notification wherever we want, and then we'll remember to bring an umbrella. So get your cup of tea, I've got mine, and we'll hop into it. And if you, while the intro's playing, you could like and subscribe, that would be good. Roll the intro. Thanks very much for liking and subscribing. I like you. That's all I've got to say. I do. Thanks for watching. So let's hop into the Zap. Here we've got Will It Rain Today. And this is part of the Weather by Zapier integrations. So it's a native Zapier integration. You can look that up by going to the app page on Zapier. You can Google it, Weather by Zapier, and you can see the triggers and actions we've got here. So let's look at all of these, and you can see Will It Rain Today. So we're going to use that trigger. So I've created my Zap. We're going to call it Rain Notifications. Okay, and we're going to say latitude and longitude. So as I've told you, I'm in Glasgow where it rains all the time, but I might want to actually get the latitude and longitude so that I can trigger this Zap. So what else are we going to do? We're going to Google Glasgow lat long. And you can see I'm here, and I will enter the latitude and the longitude here. And in the UK we use Celsius, so that's what we're going to use. In the US you would use Fahrenheit, which makes no sense, but you do you. America, you do you. We test the trigger, and you can see here there's a possibility of light rain and wind, which is not a possibility, Glasgow. It happens all the bloody time. And if you don't mind, you stop it and be a bit more sunny. I can but ask. Now, what do we want to do with that trigger? Well, really, we've got everything we want to do. I would say here, this is just going to trigger whenever it's going to rain, and we can see all of this data that comes back, and this is the return data, and this will give us a lot of kind of information about the Zap, the task really, or the trigger. And you can see the possible light, rain and windy overnight, as I mentioned, is the summary, and you've got the icon is rain. So the beauty of this is you can actually create your own icons if you wanted for all the different types of weather. If you wanted to change this to, instead of being Will It Rain Today, you can actually just use today's forecast. And an alternative way to do this is to say, we could run this every day and get today's forecast and then filter it if it has a chance of rain. But I like to use this one because we're pretty sure that Zapier knows when it's going to rain. Zapier knows everything, right? And then we might want to send ourselves a notification. Now, you can do this via text message. I tend to avoid the text message because, well, quite honestly, because whenever I get a text message from Zapier, I think somebody loves me, and then I get a text, bloody Zapier. Well, I know Zapier loves me. I love Zapier too, but it's a bit disappointing when I get a text message notification from Zapier, so I turned them all off. I tend to use Slack now, so I would say just use whatever you're comfortable with. For this one, we're going to use Slack, powered by cups of tea. Now, here we're going to use Slack, and we're going to send the channel a message, right? So you can see that I'm going to use my Slack And here we're going to pick a channel. So I'm going to say random because at the moment it is random. And we can use a lot of that information that we get through in the Zap in the message text. So I'm going to say forecast possible light rain and windy overnight. And then we can actually see if there's any information we want to bring in. Maybe cloud cover is good. And you can see what I'm doing here is mixing hard-coded or static data here with dynamic data here. So really we're creating a combination so that what we send to Slack is always relevant, but it's templatized, if that makes sense. And I'm going to send as a bot, yes, and we're going to call it rainbot. Actually, remember to call this Glasgow forecast because that's where we are. Well, that's where I am, not where you are. You're in my camera, aren't you? And we can have we can choose a bot icon. So what I tend to do is just when I want to do this, I probably shouldn't do this, but I can just Google rain icon. Let's have a look here. Free icons, simple icons. There you go. Open a new tab. You get the URL. There you go. That'll work. All right, and we know it will work because it's public and it's got the PNG file type. All right, do we want to include a link to this Zap? Not really. I don't really need to know where it comes from. Then we can say, we can attach an image by URL. We could do that, but for now we're not going to. And are we going to broadcast the channel? I don't think we need to because everybody's got other things to do rather than learn whether it's going to be raining in Glasgow, because the answer is always yes. All right, so we've sent that, and you can see here, if I go to my Slack, that Rainbot has said the Glasgow forecast will be possible light rain and windy overnight with a cloud cover of 0.65. Now, if we want to make some formatting choices, we can use the formatting help doc. So for example, if we wanted to make it bold, we can actually make this cloud cover have that, and if we want to make it italic, we can then make these or this text italic. And nope. Okay, maybe that'll work. Okay, I don't know why that's happening, but let's continue. Okay, and we're going to test and review it and see what comes up. And you can see that it didn't give us the icon because we know the icon's already there. But you can see that I added the bold and I added an enter, which I didn't really mean to do, but that was because I was trying to use this interface. I don't know why it's not working. All right, so we'll use that and we can do it like that. That will work. So that should now be italic. If I send it again, I am going to just split that up and send it again. And finally, we should be able to see that Glasgow forecast, possible light rain and windy overnight, is italic, and cloud cover is bold, is 0.65. And that is Rainbot, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and I hope that you live somewhere far sunnier than where I live right now. I'm not living the nomad life, people. I'm living the Glasgow life, which means lots of iron brew and sausage rolls. That's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video. Thanks again, and I hope you found this useful.